Welcome back to the realest channel on YouTube. The channel has had a lot of success recently with the interviews I've been doing, and for that I thank you, and for that I appreciate you. A lot of the content that I've been making has been based around the fight that was happening between Jake Paul and Ben Askren, and that fight happened last night, and that fight didn't last very long. Obviously a lot of people will feel that it was stopped prematurely. I am one of them. I do feel like it was heading to the way of that knockout anyway, and I did predict that. Cristian, quickly run the clip. But compared to the rest of it, he's done for. And I'm making my prediction right now. Ben Askren is not making it out the first round. Ben Askren is not making it out the first round. I can't see him making it out the first 3 minutes with those hands being the threat to an opponent. See, so I knew this was gonna happen. But I believe every fighter should have the chance to not leave it up in the air of what could have happened or what could have been. The fighter has the right to go out on his shield and leave no questions on the outcome. That is not Jake Paul's fault. Jake Paul's performance was clean, good punching, on the target, and he got Ben out of there. So the fact that the referee stopped the fight is not his fault, and I feel like it does take away from his victory because he wasn't allowed to actually, win like he did against Nate and make a bigger statement. But statement made nonetheless. But we're gonna go back into that a little bit later. Not much more to say on it, but we're gonna start from the beginning. Overall, the Triller show was pants. The Triller show was trash. For multiple reasons. And we're going to start off with one. Now, I respect Oscar De La Hoya as a fighter. 6-weight world champion. Hall of Famer. If he's not in there already, he should be, and he will be, and deservingly so. However, I cannot accept the way he was commentating last night. It was absolutely terrible. He's advising the fighters instead of commentating. He's talking about himself. He said baby probably about 100 times.
I love Cunningham's physique. Look at, he looks like a Adonis. He looks beautiful. He looks in shape.
Yeah,
look at the way he's making a miss.
Al, I know you're a straight arrow guy, but how is it feeling high for the first time?
Well, yeah, during his commentary, he also disrespected an ex-world champion in Steve Cunningham when he was fighting Frank Mir by saying he has 9 losses on his record for a reason, because he has no chin. They brought you in as a legend. They brought Oscar De La Hoya in as a legend to bring credibility to what you can see is based mostly around entertainment and not the traditional boxing world. They brought him in to bridge the gap. And what he done was disrespect the ex-world champion that way on that show. And I feel like I lost respect for him as a person. Not as a fighter, but as a person. Because he wasn't there to discredit the sport like that and people who have put their lives into the sport. He's there for people at home to acknowledge and recognize that it is hard to be a professional boxer. It is hard to be a world champion. And we should respect the warriors that step into the ring. Not discredit them because he's got his comeback in July that he really shouldn't be doing anyway. But that's my opinion. That's my first rant. Second, I just think the commentary overall, the way the show was run overall, it was a poor production. It was a poor production and it didn't have no element of professionalism to it. It was very amateurish. It was kind of all over the place. I feel like the Tyson and Jones show was done better. I felt like with this, they've gone too far left. Do you know what I mean? There's always a balance in life between this and this. On the Tyson and Jones show, honestly, I can say they met a good medium and it was great. This one, they went way too far, man. It just started looking like WWE boxing. Even though there were real fights, it had the feel of WWE, and even to, bring in Ric Flair in, legend, obviously, as we know. It's just certain things should, in my opinion, this is my opinion, and as I always say, if you don't like it, you don't like it, and you don't have to like it. because it's just an opinion. But in my opinion, it was too WWE felt and not enough of the sport that people are grinding for and working for to become better at, and that's tough. And I feel like that was removed yesterday from the sport of boxing, which makes it, in my eyes, since it's a boxing event, a poor event. But that's how it goes. As for the fights, Frank Mir and Steve Cunningham, good fight. You can see Steve Cunningham's IQ when he was fighting. I would have liked to see him get the finish, to be honest. But, you know, Frank Mir's a tough guy. He has good boxing for a guy that's from the MMA world. And in the MMA world, he has good hands. And, you know, it was good to see him in the ring. But I would have liked to see Steve Cunningham get the finish. Fournier, I'm not seeing much of him. He got the finish. He's calling out Jake Paul next. He's 8-0 with 8 knockouts, and kind of fits into the same category right now. So I guess that could be an interesting fight, but I feel like Jake has bigger fish to fry, and I don't know if Fournier has enough traction to get Jake into a fight, but we shall see. Regis Prograis, a fighter that I respect and I rate. Overall, it was quite a boring fight. You could tell that these guys have sparred each other many times and they kind of know each other's moves, because there was a lot of waiting. It was very patient. There was a lot of distance between. No one was really trying to bite the bullet. And then Prograis decided, cool, I'm going to up the gas. And he got the finish. And again, I was surprised to see Ivan Redkach not get up, because the shot wasn't low. And watching the replay, he got hit on the hip. To be laying on the ground like that for over 5 minutes, surely he was looking for a way out, because I don't understand how that punch in particular could be the ending punch to the contest when he didn't get hit low. It was kind of a glance on the waistline, and if anything, he should have a sore hip, not rolling around on the floor for 5 minutes trying to get a disqualification victory. So that was poor. Also, again, not Regis Prograis' fault, and it does take the light away from his win, but it still happened and not impressive. Back to the main event, as we was talking about at the start. Jake came out. He was sharp as we expected, quick punching, head and body. Ben, he was out of shape, and exactly what I predicted would happen happened. And I said he wouldn't make it out the first round, and I couldn't see how, because I just don't think he had these are the only threats that you have in the sport of boxing. 1, 2. If these are useless, you have nothing. You got nothing. So those are useless. So he had nothing, and it was proven with a 1-round finish in Jake's favor. Very good punch. Feinted with the left. Come over the top with the right hand. He crashes to the canvas. Got up very quickly. Wasn't given the opportunity to go out on his shield. As a guy, MMA guy, they get knocked down. Sometimes the guys go down with them. Sometimes they make them stand back up. But getting knocked down to them is not as detrimental as it is in the sport of boxing, in terms of the consequences of it. It can be worse because the guy can go down and continue to attack you, of course. But I mean, in boxing, you know, it's 2 points there, and you know, it's worth more. It's valued more in boxing. A knockdown is worth more in boxing, and I just feel like Ben should have been given the opportunity to go out on his shield. But I personally don't think Ben Askren cares very much. He secured the P. A lot of people were saying the fight looks rigged. I don't like saying those things unless you know something inside, because you can't really accuse people of rigging things like that. I won't go and agree with that. That's just something that I've seen straight away online. People went straight into saying that it was rigged. I don't think it was rigged, but I do think it was stopped prematurely, and I don't think Ben cares much about it at all. But overall, poor event. Just my opinion. Like it, lump it, whatever. That's just my opinion. Good performance from Jake. He done exactly what I expected him to do to Ben Askren. And it will be very interesting to see what decision he makes next. I'm always sipping on this. This is my new thing. Cure Oxygen. Make sure you go and grab that. If you want to get a discount, use the discount code REALCURE. If you don't know how to spell real like how I spell it by now, then you ain't been following, but it's RIL Cure KURE. Get your discount there. Let me just sip some now. Doing a lot of talking. But yeah, we'll see what's next for Jake. BJ Flores and himself has made it very clear that they're going to target MMA fighters. Smart, good level of opponent, very beatable opponents, tons of money being made, tons of attention, record building. It makes sense. And we are in a new age, we're in a new wave of boxing now, where you don't have to be an elite world champion to make peas, and you don't have to be an elite world champion to get attention. And what Jake has found here with Triller is perfect. He's found a network, he's found a company that are willing to plug him, willing to push him, willing to make him the star, right? Whilst he fights people who he can build his boxing experience against, who are not traditional boxers, but are people that are respected in the combat world. So low danger, high reward. Low risk, high reward. Excellent position for him to be in. And I don't see why he shouldn't do it when he's built his fan base over how many years to be able to be in a position to do this. So that's why when a lot of people are like, oh, why don't you fight him? Why don't you fight him? Jake is a boxer, but not the same. Not the same. I'm more on the traditional side of things. Yes, I have a YouTube channel. Yes, I was a coach to JJ. These things are true. But since the age of 6 years old, I've been a traditional boxer, as BJ, his coach, has acknowledged as well. And they've also said that it wasn't a topic of conversation, because I understand what they're doing. They found a nice section that really fits perfectly for them. And I'm working on my career more traditionally, and I'll get the world title, and I'll get to that level. And if it so happens that to cross paths, then it happens. But the comments of me fighting Jake, I'm not your guy. I'm sorry, people. I'm not the guy that's gonna stop Jake Paul's train. You're gonna have to get Nate Diaz or Conor McGregor or one of these MMA guys, Darren Till. Maybe one of these guys will put it to rest, but not my responsibility. Not gonna make it my responsibility, because I already got a ton. And I already know what I'm aiming to do and what I'm planning to do. I've waffled for 12 minutes now. Not waffle, I think I'm trying to make sense. But you know, I've spoken for 12 minutes. I don't like to keep you guys too long. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like and subscribe to Real and Wills. That channel is growing nicely. We nearly hit 10K now because of the recent interviews. I'm gassed. Rolling Cheeky is still there. We've got a new video coming out for you soon. I'm going to be doing sparring with some of the guys. So you know that would be interesting just to see how they got demolished. Respect and love to the brothers, not chatting too tough on camera because they'll all rush me. But you will enjoy that video as well. Cure Oxygen, I already told you about that. Smart Stop, love and respect as always. Make sure you check them out. And obviously the Living Sports Clothing is coming soon with new music. It's the end of the video. If you don't know what I do at the end of the video, it's that time.